name is Innichka Chef and welcome to my kitchen. Look who came to my kitchen this morning and helped me to make dressing or stuffing.
Dressing.
It's dressing, right? Because we are cooking outside of bird.
Right.
Yes. Lisa willing to share her famous dressing for your Thanksgiving dinner. So what we need, tell us a little bit about this recipe.
Okay, well it actually came from my mom. She had gone to a B&B in North Alabama when I was a kid at camp, and she loved turkey and dressing, and so she had ordered that, and that was the best dressing she had ever eaten, so she talked the chef into giving her the recipe. So it became our family traditional Thanksgiving dressing.
Alright.
So basically what you do is you make the cornbread, and then we are going to add some chopped onion and celery, and we add some eggs and bread and chicken broth and mushroom and a little sage, salt, and pepper, and then we put it back in the oven.
So we can call this corn dressing, right?
Yes, it's cornbread dressing.
But we also additionally add in a little bit of sourdough, good quality bread. It doesn't have to be fresh, actually stale is even better. So I'm using my sourdough bread, just a few slices, and I will link below recipe for my bread. I have several, and also cornbread. This is mine, cornbread. Doesn't have to be fresh, right, or baked.
No, right. You can.
I baked mine a few days ago and kept in the fridge, which is fine, right? Will actually absorb more liquid as it's not fresh from my oven. And as a liquid, we're doing chicken broth, chicken stock, and I have recipe as well. You can use also vegetable, right? If you are vegetarian. And cream of mushroom. And this recipe, if you watch my previous videos, this cream of mushrooms, that's exactly what I'm going to use for, as I promised, for this recipe. It's delicious as it is, but also
we can cook with it.
Yeah, key ingredients in this recipe. So we're working first on a vegetable, right?
Yes.
I understood. And then bread.
So we're going to chop the vegetables up and saute them.
How fine we need to
Just small bite-sized pieces. This is an easy recipe. It's kind of a laid back, you just kind of mix it all together and throw it in the oven kind of a thing.
Like 1 teaspoon, right?
Yeah. Just enough to saute.
Mushroom.
Have you got celery? Is that celery?
Medium, right?
Yes.
Medium heat.
So then we're just going to saute it, the onion and the celery. Always smells so good. Just to soften it up a little bit, because it's actually going to bake in the cornbread dressing.
Let's add some salt. Little bit as we go, and then adjust. Let's talk a little bit about bread. If you don't have good quality bread, what bread you would prefer from a store?
Any kind. The original recipe just said some sort of white bread, but I don't eat white bread, so I switched over and used
I hope
wheat
it's
bread.
not the sponge wonder bread. I hope. Don't use that bread.
Yeah, no, I switched over and just use any kind I've got.
Is it make any trouble if we keep using and keep crust on?
No, keep the crust on, because what it winds up doing is making interesting textures throughout the cornbread dressing, because where the crust is, it's a little crunchier.
Okay.
Instead of like just soggy or something.
Okay, good. So we don't have to worry about remove crust, which is last thing to do. And the last question about herbs. What kind of herbs would you recommend?
Okay, sage. And
Sage.
not a lot. Mother was really strong on just a touch, because if you get too much, it's too overpowering.
Yes.
So,
and sage.
You know,
We have quite a bit in almost every dish. I snitch little bit of sage. So yeah, it can be too much sage through the turkey dinner.
Right.
If you put in every dish.
Right.
So I don't have sage. That's a bad news. But I do have backup. You give me some a bunch of herbs, and I dry them. So I do have some sage dried.
Yes, I quite often use dried sage.
And dry is even better, right?
Yeah, it works fine. So I just crumble them up.
Oh,
This is how I do all my dried herbs. I don't,
Really?
Uh-huh.
And that way I can.
It's too much work. So this time it's even easier. Look, it's perfect.
And also this way you can
smells
tell
so good.
and feel if there's like stems that got in there. You can pick those out.
Okay.
So you don't have to have that in your thing. Is take the cornbread, and you don't want the bread to be like really dry, fine powder crumbs. You want it, as Mother used to say, hunk it up.
Oh, so you
just break it and do it by hand and just crumble it up. Okay, and you don't have to have it all fine. If you have like hunks, that's quite all right. And the crust on this will also make interesting texture in it. A little softer texture than the crust on the sourdough bread.
And with this bread, we're doing the same thing.
Right, you just break it up. And
I usually chop nicely, nice perfect cubes.
Yeah.
No needed.
No needed. This is so easy. It's nice during the holidays because you're so stressed about getting everything done. This is an easy, just throw it together with your hands and you're done.
Just make sure you have cream of mushroom ahead of time.
Yeah, it's nice to have everything prepped.
Yes.
Okay, the next thing we put in is the cream of mushroom soup.
It's nice. It's done.
Yeah. So then you just pour in the cream of mushroom soup.
And that's it?
That's it. And then
and soup has so much flavor itself. It's gives nice. Yeah. Hence is the best tool in the kitchen, right?
It is. And I kind of give it a gentle squeeze
Really?
as I do it. Yes.
It's not the way I made before. And let's pour. No time.
Yeah, I was just trying to make a little more room. I was kind of compacting it a little bit before.
So now I see why you said.
Okay, now we can pour the broth in.
Alright.
And we're going to do the same thing.
Okay, and now we'll mix one more time? Or we don't
Yeah. No, we are.
We need to mix one more time. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a real hand mixer.
Yes, it is.
The original, right?
All right, and then we are ready to add the celery and
Yes.
onions.
We add here. And then pour.
Yes.
And then we'll pour back to
The hot skillet that has the grease melted in it. All right, so then we add the eggs. And I'm going to get my hands back in it again.
it's quite a bit much different than what I thought.
I sort of stir it around like I'm folding, but with open fingers, and then mixing it in, I guess is the best way to describe it. Or kneading, sort of. Now we're ready to add the vegetables. And then just stir those in. And I will use a spoon on this just because it's hot and I don't want to burn my hand.
So now it's fine. This should be poured back to the cast iron, right?
Yes, you can.
And preheated ovens 350 degrees. And do we need some
We
fat?
put a little fat in because
fat.
you want that to be really hot when you put the dressing
Kind
in.
of like cornbread.
Yes,
the way
exactly.
I make cornbread, and I link below how to make cornbread. I even grind my own corn, so it's organic and it's good quality and delicious. So check it out. I hope you will. So to not wash extra pan, it's actually saving time. Just to use the same pan. And we need butter. How much do we need?
Oh,
butter?
just enough to, and then we'll put it in to let it melt. Because what it's going to do is just make a crispy crust.
Right.
On
So we'll
what's
stick
in
in
the
the
bottom.
oven until it's nice and
Hot and melted.
So the butter is nice and melted, right? And a little bit just to grease the pan, and pan has all flavor from previous sauteed vegetables. So all we need just to move
that over there.
That will be it.
That's it. And it'll pack down because it's so moist.
Oh, actually it does.
It does. It kind of has a little poofy in the middle, but. All right, and then you just bake it for about 40-45 minutes till it's.
So it's 45 minutes later we can taste it.
Cook it for about 40-45 minutes till it's nice and brown. It'll look like cornbread when it's done. You could stick a skewer or something in to pull out to make sure it's done all the way through if you wanted.
smell really good. Smell make me hungry. And here you go. Look how beautiful, delicious. Smells so good. I don't know if delicious. We'll try. But looks like a cake.
It's very good.
And I have to tell you, I was surprised when we start making. It's different than anything what I ever tasted. It looks different. In a minute we'll taste. And up north, when we live in Massachusetts, always been with sausage, with pork. In south, I taste with oysters.
Oyster dressing is very popular.
Very popular. And I personally make with dry fruit. And this is very different, so I can't wait to dig in.
Try it.
Let's try. And I like to see that green celeries, and it's crispy outside. You can see it, it's crispy.
It is crispy. And it's got like the texture because it's got all the, the vegetables.
And let's cut like a cake. Oh my goodness. Make my mouth watering.
So try it.
Let's try it. And I want all pieces.
Oh, hot, but very good.
Not for me. There isn't anything too hot for me. I love hot.
Has a very nice flavor.
Very
Very moist.
I love the crispiness outside and on top. I do like to see vegetables. It is delicious. It's, I think, for everybody. Everyone will love this. It doesn't have any overpowerful flavor of sage or anything, but has nice texture and a good subtle Thanksgiving flavor,
Right.
if you will. It's delicious.
And it's great with gravy over it too.
It's very So skip on mashed potato and just eat stuffing with a gravy. That's what I will do actually this year. And here's a question: can we freeze this?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I quite often wind up making it like the day before Thanksgiving with the vegetables baked in it, and then put together the dressing so it comes out of the oven when the turkey's done. But you can freeze it, make it ahead of time and freeze it. And
So
then,
even if it's baked, I can freeze it.
yeah, you can just take this and freeze it. I would wrap it, let it cool, and then flip it out of the pan and let it wrap it really well so it won't get freezer burned. And you can pop it in the freezer for, I mean, you can make it like
Probably
6 months before even.
Back in the cast iron pan and reheat.
Yes, absolutely.
And no one will know.
That absolutely.
I love those kind of recipes because I make everything ahead of time. My freezer is always full, always full. That's kind of saving me time and make everything from scratch in homemade meals by using freezer a lot. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will link below all recipes we used in this video, chicken stock, also the cream of mushroom and similar related recipe, and everything what you will need for holidays. I hope you enjoy, and give me a like and subscribe, share with your family, friends, and if you like, support me on Patreon media if you appreciate my work. Bye, see you next time.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.